How you doing today?
I'm good, brother. What part of North Carolina are you coming from?
I'm in the Raleigh-Durham area. So
Okay, 'cause my wife is from Morganton, uh,
okay.
and then their family's all in Shelby, so that's where we go most holidays.
Oh, see, the connections just keep happening. We already had the best hairstyle in the business, so the connections just keep
Let
on
me
happening.
let me add the hate. Some of y'all say the food ain't good.
Yo, that's real hate right there. I'm not a big fan of some of the food. I will be honest.
That's fair. That's fair.
I moved here from Georgia, but have thoroughly enjoyed my time in North Carolina. I was reading that bio, and it led me down a rabbit hole about you. When I started preparing for this,
I'm sorry about that.
yo, I enjoyed every bit of it. When I started preparing for this interview, I started with just your bio and kind of went from there. And, you know, one thing that was sure is that you were a mover and shaker in California politics. And you were a mover and shaker in California politics before you became an elected official.
Right.
And so, can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to move into politics?
Yeah. So a lot of things. I knew the world was messed up as at a young age. My biological mother couldn't keep me. Got pregnant from an attack. I became a part of the Bryan family. They did 20 foster care for 26 years and adopted 9 of us. Had hundreds of foster siblings come through the house growing up. So you could just see the way patterns replicate themselves, patterns of poverty, um, blackness, houselessness, struggles, different struggles intersecting and then compounding to the next generation, right? Kids who, are born into these struggles and sometimes don't even get a chance to move before they encounter their first system of harm, the child welfare system. And so I knew things were messed up growing up. I didn't know what I wanted to do about it or what to do about it. Had a couple of siblings who were incarcerated when I was younger. My little brother's incarcerated right now. I was a terrible student. I failed out of middle school, bounced around, went to 3 high schools, and I was government student of the year my senior year. And that was like the first validation I think I ever had intellectually of being good at something, right? And so
Mhm.
I struggled to get to college, went to a couple of community colleges and said, I'm going to study political science. Studied political science, double majored in sociology, came back home to UCLA to get my master's in public policy. And once you get that master's in public policy, people don't really ask where you came from before that or what you've been. All of a sudden, I was validated, certified. And I didn't know I wanted to be in office for a while after that because I didn't like elected officials. I wasn't, my roots come in community organizing. I like showing up at your county meeting with 1,000 people and asking you not to build that new women's jail, which is a true story of how we stopped the women's jail in Los Angeles. But running for office was really just timing an opening in the neighborhood, and the people I was looking up to at the time, Shirley Weber and others, were no longer in the assembly. So it was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and throw my name in, see if we can pull this off. And in the field of 6, we took it out right in the primary with over 50%.
So wait. That's easy to skip over. I see a vet's face, so I know what that's about. That's about that 50%.
Yeah, we're not even gonna keep going. We gonna knock
Yeah,
this
yeah,
out.
we're gonna stop at the
Knock this out.
50%
Stop this train.
yeah, because that speaks to
Hardly ever
community
happen.
involvement. So
Mhm.
how did you get there? I am playing this part because I didn't know about the 50%, but I can't go past that so easy. So how did you get there?
We ran a really like honest and rooted campaign, and I had some hard conversations with certain folks, um, that you would normally want to be very close to politically. I just wanted to be authentic to myself in that moment and let the community make a decision. I had just got finished running a ballot measure in LA County too, so my name was pretty hot at the moment. And that ballot measure was after George Floyd was murdered. A lot of people were like, "What's the policy solution? What do we mean? All the sloganeering is great, but what are we doing policy wise?" And we ran a ballot measure that basically said we want 10% of the unrestricted money that LA County has, which is several $100 million a year, and we want that 10% to only go to youth development, small businesses, affordable housing, or alternatives to incarceration. And this was the special part, and the sheriff, the DA, and probation can't rebrand anything they do to fit in those buckets. So we
Mm.
want this money to actually go to the things that keep communities safe. We put that on the ballot. It was a charter amendment to the county charter, and we got like 2.5 million votes. So I was coming right off of that in November, and the special election was in April. So there was a lot of momentum building, and folks had known me for a while. You know, I had really been organizing at the county level, really been organizing at the city level. I had this position at the university when I founded the Black Policy Project and at the Ralph Bunche Center that allowed me to do research, but also take it into the hands of folks who are getting active and really trying to make a difference with this new knowledge. And I really enjoyed that position. I really did.
Now, so and I hear the theme, you know, and things that your legislative priorities. I hear a theme, and I feel like a lot of it is about the least of Californians. It's about the least of us. Some notable legislation that you've worked on, restoring voting rights to incarcerated Californians through ACA 4. And I believe that was in 2023, but isn't it something that comes up on the ballot soon?
So we didn't quite get it onto the ballot. I got it to the assembly floor and I couldn't get the 2/3 vote I needed.